Alright, so this is video 1 of 3 on how to recognize and notate functions. We want to do this because being able to understand the notation around functions is really, really important in moving further in the mathematical methods course, because you're going to start encountering it a lot and you need to know what's going on. So this first video, we want to be able to identify whether or not a relation actually is a function. So a function is very specifically designed as any kind of relation, so any kind of equation, where every x value can only be mapped to one y value. So if we look at this example from the previous section, remember we were mapping using an arrow diagram the relation that was given as a set of ordered pairs here. This first one, you have an x value of 3 going to both 6 and 5, okay? So this one is not a function because your x value is being mapped to multiple y values. This second one here, each x value, so 5 is going to 4, 4 is going to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, every single x value is going to its own specific y value, which means it is a function. So if we look at these two sets of ordered pairs here, this first one, you've got -3, -4, -1 to -1, -6 to 7, 1 to 5. So A is a function. I can spell. Because every value of x there is going to its own y. For B, you can see we've got -4 going to 1 and -4 going to -1. That means this is not a function. A good way to test whether or not an equation or a relation is actually a function is by using the vertical line test. So effectively, if you can draw a vertical line anywhere on your graph and it only ever intersects that graph once, then it's a function. So if we think about the function y equals x squared, or the relation y equals x squared rather, we want to state what the maximal domain is, so that implied domain. So that implied domain is just going to be all of the real numbers. Okay, so if we think about that, the domain is just going to be R. The range, if we think about what the equation actually looks like, y equals x squared is our basic parabola, roughly like that. That range is going to be between 0 and infinity, because it's going to have a turning point at 0, but it's going to keep on going forever upwards. So if we think of our vertical line test, if we were to draw a vertical line anywhere along that graph, okay, any vertical line, it's only going to ever intersect it once. So yes, it is a function. If we think about B, x squared plus y squared equals 4, that's going to be a circle. Okay, and if you're ever not sure about whether or not, or how to sketch a graph, what it looks like, if it's one you're not familiar with, then I recommend just going into Desmos and putting in, so we've got x squared plus y squared equals 4. There we go. That is a circle. So now that we've got that sketch in here, the maximal domain and range, remember it's the biggest, so the maximal domain is the biggest value, the biggest range for which the function makes sense. So that domain is going to be between -2 and 2, and so is the range, because that's the endpoints of that function. If we're to do a vertical line test on that, we would intersect at 2 points, which means this is not a function. Still a valid equation, a valid graph, but not a function.